Let's get the latest out of the White House as President Trump spoke today. Eamon Javers joining us from snowy Washington. He's been talking quite a bit in the last couple of days, Eamon.
Yeah, that's right, Mike. And the president spoke live to reporters in the East Room earlier today. It was his first on-camera live comments since the strikes today. And the president laid out the U.S. military's tactical objectives over the coming days and weeks. Here's what he said.
Our objectives are clear. First, we're destroying Iran's missile capabilities, and you see that happening on an hourly basis, and their capacity to produce brand new ones, and pretty good ones they make. Second, we're annihilating their Navy. We've knocked out already 10 ships. They're at the bottom of the sea. Third, we're ensuring that the world's #1 sponsor of terror can never obtain a nuclear weapon.
And, Mike, you know, the big question in all of this since Friday has been, what is the administration's timeline? Of course, administration officials ranging from Pete Hegseth to the president himself really declining to put a particular date on it for obvious reasons. They don't want to box themselves in. But by putting the emphasis on tactical goals here, we just heard Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, up on Capitol Hill talking about degrading the ballistic missile capacity of Iran. By doing it that way, rather than some sort of governmental objective that they can't really control, you do see the administration setting up a scenario whereby they could say, well, we've achieved these goals. The missile capacity is down. The ballistic program is down. The nuclear capability is at least eliminated for the time being, and then putting an end to this based on those goals as opposed to some much more difficult to achieve governmental outcome in the Iranian regime, Mike.
I guess, Eamon, one question is whether there's a sort of clock ticking in the sense that, running out of some of the anti-drone missiles and some things you've heard about allies in the area that, maybe they don't necessarily have, a capacity to withstand this indefinitely.
Yeah, that's a real question in terms of what is the U.S. capacity. The U.S. military at the Pentagon today has said that they're pushing additional resources to the region, that in terms of armament and also personnel. So we'll see what kind of a deployment we see there. The president has said we could see continued massive waves of attacks from the U.S. government. And clearly the gamble here is that the U.S. government and the Israelis have the capacity to continue this longer than the Iranians do. That seems to be the assessment on the intelligence side in terms of who has what capacity. The other geostrategic question, Mike, is really an open one, which is what does this do to the rest of the world, right? I mean, you've got Russia, Ukraine in a hot war right now, and that's been requiring some U.S. resources. And then also there's the question of China and Taiwan. As Xi Jinping sits in Beijing watching all this, does that make him more or less likely to want to use military action against Taiwan to reunify the country, something that he's had as a goal for a long time? With the U.S. occupied in Iran, you might say that that's getting some attention in Beijing for sure, but the question is, what are the implications?
And, Eamon, just quickly, are the Gulf states appealing to the administration to back off? I mean, they are being hit in their economic sort of central nervous system here. I mean, Saudi Arabia with a major attack on its oil hub. We have Qatar with the LNG facilities, Dubai with its airports. I mean, all of these sort of economic infrastructures are being hit.
Yeah, and clearly that's intentional by the Iranian side, right? I mean, hit them where they're the weakest and hit them where you might have some influence politically. What you hear from the administration so far is that the Arab allies are hanging tough and sticking with the U.S. effort here, and we'll see if any of this Iranian pressure changes the trajectory of that.